Alaikum sisters. So I'm going to show you guys this much requested Red Velvet Cupcake video, and I've paired that up with a beautiful cream cheese frosting which I know you guys are going to love. So I really hope you enjoy this tutorial. So before we get started, let's go over the ingredients. So we're going to need some unsalted butter, and here I'm using low pack, some caster sugar. We're also going to need a couple of eggs and some self-raising flour, of course. And we're also going to need some milk chocolate. You can use plain chocolate or dark chocolate, some cocoa powder. For the cream cheese frosting, we're going to need full fat soft cheese. It doesn't have to be full fat. Icing sugar, so I'm using the Silver Spoon brand, and some more butter, of course. So let's start. We're going to need 1 cup of your caster sugar, 1 cup of your unsalted butter, which is at room temperature. I can't stress the importance of having it at room temperature, because at this stage, if it's hard, you're going to find it really tough mixing it into your sugar. And not only that, the texture itself will just be ruined. So definitely have it at room temperature and incorporate it into the sugar well until you get a nice smooth consistency. And you should get a nice fluffy texture like so. So the next step is to crack open 2 eggs into a bowl and then whisk together like so, and it should end up something like this. So pour in your whisked egg into your butter and sugar mixture, and then start to beat this mixture together, so much so that you get a nice smooth and fluffy consistency like so. We're also going to need 1 cup of your self-raising flour, or you can use all-purpose flour and then mix it with your baking powder and it should be fine. So here we're just going to add a little bit of baking powder, and I'm using 1 teaspoon. So I'm just going to mix it into the flour, and at this point you can also mix in your cocoa powder, but I added that in separately because I forgot to add that at this stage. So just sift it through. So here I'm just going to add my cocoa powder, and I'm just going to add a couple of teaspoons, maybe a tablespoon even, just depends on how chocolatey you want it. So now I'm just going to incorporate all the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients, the butter, sugar and egg. So I just added 1 tablespoon of milk just to help the mixture a little and make the consistency nice and fluffy. And we should have something that looks like this. So I've already melted the chocolate from beforehand. I just put it in a bowl, microwave safe bowl, and melted the chocolate, and now I'm just going to put it into the mixture and mix it right in. So the final step is to add our red food colouring, and I'm using Christmas Red by Wilson, and it's a really good food colouring, very concentrated and comes out very nice. So there's no actual measurement for when it comes to food colouring. You just kind of have to add it in to your guesstimation and how much colour, you know, really and truly that you want in your cake. So I really wanted that rich food colouring, so until I got a really rich red, you know, I kept adding a little bit more at a time, but always add a little bit at a time as opposed to adding a whole load, because you can't take the colour back out. So this is the red that you really want to achieve. So at this point, spoon the mixture into your paper cases until you get to about 2/3 of the way, and make sure you don't overfill it, and then bake in your preheated oven for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until the cake bounces back when touched. So you basically insert a toothpick in the center and it should come out clean. This is when you know it's basically cooked. Once your cakes are cooked, it should look something like this. Look how bright red it is. It looks so delicious. So the next step, how to make our cream cheese frosting. So for this, we're going to need about 300 grams or 2 1/3 cup of icing confectionery sugar. Add about 50 grams to 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and make sure it's at room temperature, because you know what happens if it's not. And incorporate it well into your sugar. And then add about 1 dessert spoon of milk. And then add about 4 to 6 ounces of your cream cheese. So now add the cream cheese in one go and beat it until it's completely incorporated, and then leave it in your fridge to set. So now the fun bit, put your cream cheese frosting after it's set into your piping bag, and then use a star tip nozzle and then slowly just swirl it around your cake. Always start it from the center, as this gives the best finish. So I really hope you enjoyed this amazing red velvet cake recipe. Please try it out. Let me know how yours come out. And don't forget to subscribe. And yes, so stay tuned for upcoming videos. Assalamu Alaikum. Love you all. Bye. And check out my Facebook page.